Whether you are a total beginner, an intermediate, or an advanced lifter or fitness person, it is really going to benefit you to know and understand the concept of training age. Why? Because it is going to help you understand what type of training you should be doing, what type of progress you can reasonably expect to make, and when your expectations match with reality, you will be happy, but if they don't, you'll probably be upset and frustrated. It also helps to understand what type of coaching you are probably going to benefit from the most, and a couple other little keys to progress based on your stage of development. Training age basically talks about kind of your rate of progress relative to where you sit against your total potential for fitness or strength gains, or whatever specific attribute of fitness that we're talking about. So if we're talking about, let's say, strength progress, on the bottom axis we have time, and over here we have how much progress you've made. So here you are at the beginning of your strength journey. You have not put any time into the gym, and you have made no progress. As you start training and working out, your rate of progress is very fast at the beginning. Some people call this newbie gains, or there's different titles for it. But in this beginner phase, you're usually able to make progress every 1 to 2 weeks. So you're making improvements really, really quickly. Now, at a certain point, you're going to start leveling out, and that's where we could say you're getting into sort of an intermediate phase where progress is now happening a little bit slower, and it may take 4 to 16 weeks to realize an improvement in your actual strength numbers. And then when you get to the advanced phase, you're very close to your sort of genetic potential for how strong you could possibly get. And then there's going to be some other factors that come into play, like lifestyle factors and recovery factors and the minute details that kind of go into that, that's really going to dictate whether you can actually continue to make progress here. The further you go along this curve, the harder it is to make progress. And how long you spend in each time is really individual. So some people may be able to stay in the beginner phase for 1 or 2 years. Other people may be able to stay in that for a few months. Everyone is going to kind of match this curve to some extent, but how it actually applies to you is going to be different. Now, the key thing is that at each one of these phases, your training is going to be very different. The amount of coaching and the type of coaching that you need is different. And the things that you need to keep in mind to kind of have a happy, productive experience and to continue to make progress is also going to be different. So what I'm going to do is, like I said, I'm going to link below to a little bit more in-depth discussion on this. But this is a super important topic, so you can get your training right, you can get your mindset right, and continue to make the progress that you want. One important thing to remember when it comes to training age is, let's say you're over here as a strength athlete. Well, if you change your mind and you say, hey, I want to do some endurance training, just because you're an intermediate or advanced on one type of fitness training, you're still going to be starting down at the very bottom when you do a new type of training with a new type of goal. So you just want to keep that in mind, that even though part of your training program may require sort of intermediate or advanced strategies, if some of it may require more beginner strategies, which is always nice because progress is always going to come faster in that beginner stage.